because every single day of this year has been yet another page torn directly from a George Orwell novel. You can't believe it's real, but unfortunately it is. Some Democrats are now calling for a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to try or assess Trump supporters after the election. Truth and Reconciliation Commission. This weekend, for example, former Obama advisor Robert Reich, who was the labor secretary under Bill Clinton, wrote that Truth and Reconciliation Commissions would, quote, name every official, politician, executive, and media mogul whose greed and cowardice enabled this catastrophe, end quote. Several MSNBC anchors have made the same suggestion. Chris Hayes, for example. In July, another MSNBC personality offered a preview of these commissions.
Let me take an example like the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in South Africa, because it's a good example because apartheid went on for a long time. But basically, people would come before that commission and admit there was a truth-telling. They would say, I did this. And that was the birth of the concept of reconciliation, because they were able to admit what they did wrong. Here in America, we have a different problem in that there are a whole bunch of people who say, I didn't cause this problem. Might have been my ancestors, or maybe I'm a recent immigrant. It's somebody else's fault. How do we convince people that it doesn't have to be their fault to be their responsibility to fix it?
South Africa is the model? Seriously, that's not a rhetorical point, by the way, or a demagogic one. Do you know anyone who lives there? Of any color. How's that country going now? Seriously. That's their model. Okay. J.D. Vance is the author of the book Hillbilly Elegy. We're always happy to have him on the show. J.D., great to see you. So it strikes me that one of the many ironies here is that a lot of people, maybe a lot of higher income voters, want the chaos to end. They want something calmer. And they do want like actual reconciliation, which is good. And so they're voting for Biden in the hope of that. His supporters calling for a Truth and Reconciliation Commission doesn't sound like a first step toward reconciliation to me.
No, it doesn't, Tucker. And this really is, like you said, torn from a page out of a George Orwell novel, because who can protest truth or reconciliation? But a Truth and Reconciliation Commission would not be about truth, and it wouldn't be about reconciliation. It would be about revenge. Right. And what I find just so preposterous about this idea, setting aside the fact that it's just a terrible idea, is that it's incredibly whiny, right? I mean, these guys lost an election in 2016. They're unhappy about it. Okay, I get it. I wouldn't like losing an election either. But instead of trying to win the next election and moving on with the life of American democratic politics, they want to go backwards and punish everybody. And I just can't help but think, why are you guys being total babies and talking about this? The election is in 2 weeks. Focus on that and not on punishing the people who voted the way that you didn't like.
We've never done anything like that in this country. I mean, Reconstruction was very tough on the losers, obviously. But we've never had a former president indicted, for example. We just don't behave that way in this country. And I wonder if saying things like this isn't tampering with the formula of America.
I think it definitely is. And what worries me most about this, Tucker, isn't what it means about those who worked in the Trump administration, those who maybe can't find jobs now that they're looking for jobs in the private sector. I see it more as a warning for the future, whether it's a second Trump administration or a Republican president who comes after. Really what this is saying is you're going to be punished for trying to implement your ideals and principles into the work of government. As you know well, you can't actually run a government with just one guy. A president is obviously the most important piece, but you need people running the cabinet departments. You need people working at the White House. And if the warning that's out there is we're going to come after you if you work in the administration of somebody who holds your values, then it's going to be harder to actually staff a Republican government in the future. So I really think that this is a really dark threat that's going to cast a real pall over a lot of American politics for the next few weeks. And hopefully not after that. But of course, we know when you open Pandora's box, it just keeps going.
Yeah, I think it's a really smart point that you just made. It's scaring the hell out of people in the meantime, and that has its own costs, I would say. J.D. Vance, great to see you. Thank you.